All right. Character story 1. Keqing is the daughter of an illustrious Liyue family with a proud lineage, and she is better acquainted than most with the influence that Rex Lapis has over the people of Liyue. Once every few years, in an almost cyclical fashion, a major reshuffle hits Liyue's economy after the Rite of Dissension. Once Rex Lapis's new policies are announced, some families celebrate while others grieve. The poor hope it will offer them the chance to finally make their fortunes, while the wealthy pray that theirs will not be swept away in the changing tides. Rather than carefully analyze the economic climate, merchants are more prone to making investments based on belief. And in present-day Liyue, this is a forgivable strategy. Rex Lapis is a powerful deity, and he can be relied on for all things. But Keqing has her reservations about all this. What if one day Rex Lapis stops fulfilling his duty? I literally just said that, and that's literally what happened. So technically, Keqing was ahead of the curve. Then what would become of the people of Liyue? Liyue's present prosperity is akin to a magnificent sandcastle on the beach. Humanity does not have the luxury of deciding when the tide will come in. However, Keqing has been unable to garner majority support for her views. This character needs a character quest. She needs a character quest, like a story quest, like ASAP. I think that would be great, especially give a character quest of like aftermath of everything that happened with Rex Lapis, and like from her perspective, how she feels it'll affect Liyue. They have so much, there's so much potential here for her, especially if these are her viewpoints. From most people's perspective, life is but a brief, insignificant moment in Liyue's long history, and there is no point in working oneself up into an existential quandary. This perspective, as far as Keqing is concerned, is a lazy and cowardly one that denies there is any real value at all in the existence of the human race. If humans really have no worth, Keqing retorted, then why would we expect the gods to care about us so much? Unwilling to compromise on her beliefs, she casts her skepticism on everything. Everything from Rex Lapis's loving kindness to the people's laziness to the way that society runs. Issues affecting humans' fates should be handled by humans, and humans are more than capable of handling them with finesse. Finally, the day came after her now famous speech at the Rite of Dissension. Rex Lapis has watched over Liyue for a millennia, but what about the next millennia? What about the next 10 or the next 100 millennia? How long are we expecting the status quo to last? You know what? Facts. Hearing these words, Rex Lapis burst into hearty laughter, but as for what exactly he was laughing about, you know what? He was like, bro, I'm about to retire soon, and she's the only one that's prepared for it. It's like she saw the future. That's what he was laughing at. He was like, wow, this girl's, she's next level compared to these people. That's so nice. That's so great. Wow, I'm starting to have a lot of respect for Keqing. I didn't know any of this stuff about her. So like, to me, Keqing was a character that came and went because she was very insignificant to the story. You didn't give me a character quest, and I kind of really just had her in my party for Friendship 10 because Razor was the main character that I had that was Electro that I mained, so I didn't really feel the need to have another Electro character. But like, this is kind of like, I actually really like her character. She's very like grounded, extremely realistic. You know, she doesn't like she's not blinded by like the gods and faith and, you know, all of this magical stuff that could just make everything so much better. She seems like she doesn't mind getting her hands dirty and like working hard. So, you know, I appreciate that. She's very pragmatic. Yeah, absolutely. Character story 2. Some may be able to keep up with Keqing's forward-thinking ideas, but none can keep up with her pace of work. Perhaps in an effort to become a role model for her people, she demands of herself to work 10 times harder than the average person, and she cannot abide any measure of laziness or inefficiency. Yeah, she's just built different. She's built different. Like, that's literally it. Nothing more, nothing less. Humans' abilities and lifespans are more limited than the gods. This means that one has no hope of living to see the day when humans replace the gods as masters of their universe if one allows apathy and hesitation to slow themselves down. Well, that's never gonna happen because that's what Conra was, and the gods literally just fucking nuked them out of existence. So yeah, so doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. Moving on. Because of the same mindset, she is never able to synchronize her work rhythm with the people around her. Whatever the task, she does not rest until the job is done, and when something should take half a month to resolve, she will pull out all the stops and try to get it turned around within the next 48 hours. Jesus Christ. Additionally, Keqing's notion of completing something is far from ambitious than simply getting it finished. She will make sure that every relevant even detail is tied up too. To the outside observer, she seems to be both highly efficient and a perfectionist, but not everyone is as self-motivated as Kaching. No assistant she hires ever makes it past the 3-month mark. She has received countless remonstrations urging her to be less impatient, but she meets each one of these stern rejections. Still, she has to some extent come around to the idea that a higher staff turnover is itself a manifestation of inefficiency and made some concessions accordingly. She might also be a little bit of a workaholic. I'll just throw that out there, because I'm all for efficiency, I'm all for working hard, I'm all for disciplining yourself, but there's also a thing of working too much. Today, if you encounter an assistant in Kaching's dealings with the matter 3, 4, or even 5 years ahead of time, don't be alarmed. This is completely normal. Kaching gives them a bit of a head start, but she'll be catching up before long. Wow. Character story 3. Yesterday's experiences make me stronger today. This is one of the principles Kaching lives by. Spending all of one's time at Yujing Terrace means seeing the same old thing day after day. But to be able to think and act as swiftly as lightning, one needs a large amount of experience to draw in. So if Kaching sees something that needs doing, why, she'll do it herself. For example, she once served for 2 months as a laborer to better decide how to refine a plan to improve their treatment. That's pretty fucking crazy. It's hard to imagine that this young lady with so much authority vested in her has pulled carts to the chasm, rammed earth at the South Wharf, and waited tables at small diners. In addition to working, she also once took the opportunity to gather information with which to report a powerful individual known for his abuses. He was apprehended without any clue as to how he had been exposed, but when he was brought into the interrogation chamber by the Millilith, there was a striking young woman dressed in fine robes. Hey, haven't we met somewhere before? The words felt foolish the moment they rolled off his tongue, even to him, especially because the Millilith then introduced her the following: "This is the Yuhung of the Liue Chising. Know your place and keep your distance." Exactly. So what was he thinking? Sheesh. Yo, she's a powerhouse, man. I'll tell you. I would not want to cross paths with her. She's a freaking... Yeah, she's definitely a powerhouse, man. Character story 4. Rex Lapis's departure has put Liue Harbor through a great deal of hardship. All the duties Rex Lapis once fulfilled have been taken up by the Chising and the eight trades. But that divine rule is a thing of the past. The old strictures left behind cannot simply be continued wholesale, but to expand new laws of Liue, those history spanned several thousands, is no mean feat. At first, Kaching was incredibly enthusiastic about this task, having long prepared for this day when she might finally show her mettle. But several months in, and she was still struck on a single task: land infrastructure, and it was driving her up a wall. No matter how hard she struggled, the mountain of tasks was like a quagmire. She was making differences, yes, but not nearly as much ease as Rex Lapis. Why can I only do this much? Why can't I do it better? Of course, she had long understood the wherefores here. Her lack of respect for the gods had somehow received their recognition all the same, yes, but that didn't mean that she was ready to simply replace them. But she was still Kaching, resolute and tenacious. From that day on, she shut herself in, studied classics on various kinds of learnings, all that she had needed. Placing herself lowest, she accepted that she had hitherto not known with open arms. During this time, she gained a certain calm, slowly discarding the opprobrium she had long held against Rex Lapis. Oh, yeah. So basically, throughout this entire thing, she's like, all right, I got this. The gods are out of the way. Make way for Kaching. And then she realized, oh shit, this is actually a lot harder than I thought. Probably shouldn't have talked shit about Rex Lapis, because clearly he was putting in a lot of work. And yeah, I'm not gonna hold anything against him anymore. She also seemingly came to an understanding concerning the smile Rex Lapis had given her during the rite of dissension. It was Kaching who believes in expression of acknowledgement and expectation. She hadn't lost any of her forceful or decisive manners, no. But sometimes, when she felt lost, she would stop and think, what would Rex Lapis do at a moment such as this? Yeah, she finally grew to respect him, instead of just being like, he doesn't do anything. He just tells us what to do and we do all the work. But like, clearly there was more going on behind the scenes. Character story 5. Kaching, who has dedicated a large amount of her energies to Liue Harbor, indulges in an unexpected pastime when she can spare a moment. Shopping? Oh god. Yeah, I was waiting for someone to be a shopper. On her days off, she changes into ordinary clothes. We better get ordinary clothes costumes for Kaching then, if you're saying this. She changes into ordinary clothes, contacts a few close friends, and enjoys a day of strolling around Feiyun Slope and Chihu Rock, just enjoying the acts of buying things. After Rex Lapis's departure, Kaching managed to maintain this method of decompression despite her busier schedule schedule, though with one subtle difference. On one of her shopping trips, she happened upon a small and unremarkable stall that sold cute Rex Lapis clay figurines with tiny bodies and, oh, like a bobblehead with tiny bodies and big heads. Persuading her friends to visit the silk store opposite, she approached the stall, took a figure in her hand, and began to examine it. She knew that she didn't have much time, so after glaring around to make sure no one was looking, she paid for, picked up, and packed away her prize with one single movement. She bought like a little Zhongli bobblehead. But no sooner had she placed the figure in her bag and heaved a sigh of relief that one of her friends, silk bundle in tow, tapped her on the shoulder. In the end, all was revealed. Her friends were quite curious. Wasn't Kaching a skeptic among skeptics? Why would she buy one of these? For the introspection, of course. There's nothing wrong with self-reflection, is there? So she said, and it would be convincing too. If Kaching didn't already have an entire shelf dedicated to if Kaching didn't already have an entire shelf dedicated to Rex Lapis self-reflection memorabilia. Okay, she's a fan. She's a fan of the CEO of GEO. She's a big Dong Zhang supporter. That's great. That's great. Her Funko Pop collection. Yeah, I think casual Kaching would be a great costume for her. I think that would be really awesome. Survival hairpin. Yeah, so she does have like a hairpin with a little flower on it. So I wonder, oh, and she's got another one on the, oh, she's got two different ones actually. So apparently these have a little bit of significance. So survival hairpin. Though she is of noble birth, Kaching tries to keep her luxuries to a bare minimum that would befit her position as one of the Liwei Qixing. But when she is outside of the borders of the prosperous city, she will often head deep into uninhabited areas to strengthen her knowledge and sharpen her will. She has experienced countless challenges, but unlike backpackers and adventurers, she did not bring anything with her but her hairpin and her sword. As long as it's infused with electro, the hairpin could become a knife of unmatched sharpness. Cutting trees, chopping firewood, that's so cool, man. Skinning game and carving bones are all well within their capabilities. If faced with a drop of great height, she only needs to pin it to the ground, tie Rattan to it, and rappel down. It also serves as an incredibly sensitive security device when camping out. Any unusual movements nearby will cause it, when tripped over or placed perpendicular to the ground, to alert and awaken Kaching immediately. It can even be used to fish. Wow, this is like her Swiss Army knife. It can do everything. It can even be used to fish. Kaching can hurl it into the water, and when feeling perkishness, it will always be a few fish that will get knocked out by the electric shock. And of course, finding a stick to grill the fish on is not a problem either. Some narrow-minded folks have ridiculed Kaching's hairpin for being old and worn, but this does not anger her. Indeed, she considers it to be a point of pride. Its weathering form is what gives it its charm. Yo, she's what's the word I'm looking for? She's got a lot of like ingenuity. Like she's like a hairpin of all things. It's like, yep, this simple thing can just, it saves, it protects me, it keeps me safe, it helps you out when you're in the wild. That's pretty crazy. So this one has to do with her vision. Kaching is likely a skeptic without equals when it comes to the value of visions. She knows that everything she has is a result of her own hard work, but that in the eyes of others, credit has been given instead. Yeah, fuck those people, man. I hate that shit so much. Like people will always look to something else to discredit like most people who like actually work hard for the things that they've accomplished, and that always irritates me because I've been on the receiving end of that type of like bullshit criticism. Like, oh yeah, like it's not like he's not successful, it's just because Rooster Teeth helped him out. And it's just like, bro, I was making videos before Rooster Teeth ever discovered me. What do you want about? I hate when that shit happens. So I completely understand how that might make her feel. She once believed that this purple crystal had stolen the pride due originally for her, and that was both a challenge and an insult from the gods. In fact, she tried to destroy her vision countless times. She's left it in a huge fire for 3 days and 3 nights, ran it over with a minecart full of rocks, and even hurled it from the height of the Jade Chamber. Unfortunately, she has never been successful. With no other options and not wanting it to fall into the wrong hands, Kaching was forced to accept the vision as part of her life. Over time, Kaching came to appreciate her vision. She realized that this item did not actually have any divine will imbued within it, but that it also had numerous practical uses. Thus, she decided to make use of it. The source of power is far less important than the character of its user. Yeah, it's like you might have a vision, but it really depends. Like your effectiveness in using it is probably more impressive than just having it. Regardless of how she may once have regarded it. Kaching's vision and its power have become a part of her. Thanks to Archon, she hadn't destroyed it back then, and she'd have regretted it for sure. Oh, the hardships of being a pragmatist. She's very fascinating. I really enjoyed her character. I think a game like this definitely needs a realistic, like, pragmatic character who thinks very realistically about a lot of things. I think she has a lot of things that she says are incredibly valid. Some of the things she said came to pass, and she was right after all. And it's no wonder Rex Lapis, like, obviously, you know, approved of her. I just really want MiHoYo to give her more of the spotlight. She definitely deserves it.
I am Kuching, Yuheng of the Liyue Qixing. We live in an era of change, as the old order that has existed for 1,000 years is about to be rewritten. Join me. Let us bear witness to this historical moment together. Come on, enough procrastinating. Let's go.
Damn, now that I have context of, like, her background, I've heard this one a lot because I always stand idle with a lot of the characters. So she's just like, yo, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Can we actually get to work?
I'm all for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it.
Yeah.
In adventuring, as in business, you always have to seize the opportunity while it's there.
This idle voiceover hits so different now.
Quite a downpour. Nothing will get done until it clears. Let this be a lesson to those who yesterday said I'll do it tomorrow.
Let this be a lesson to those who said yesterday I'll do it. Yo, that's a Shia LaBeouf reference. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true.
Thunder and lightning can be quite frightening, but don't worry. Liyue's storm and fire defenses are second to none.
Thunder and lightning can be quite... Yo, thunderbolts and lightning, very frightening me.
Thunderbolts and lightning, very frightening me.
Don't worry. Snowfall on this scale is no impediment. We can keep moving. The sun is out. Our work's done for the day. Shall we take a stroll? Morning. Time to set the tone for the rest of the day. So if you're still feeling sleepy, shake it off. I'm not in the habit of napping at noon. But don't let that stop you if you're feeling tired. I'll give you a wake-up call in, say, 3 minutes time.
3 minutes? At least 8.
The lights are coming on now that the night is setting in. Another delightful day draws to a close. Sleep well. Me?
Aww.
I still have a handful of things on my to-do list, but I'll call it a night once they're done.
Nice. I am really coming around to Kaching now. Holy shit. I really like her. I wish I knew her around the time that I was playing her in-game, because damn, man, I wish they had given her more of a spotlight before now.
If you feel strongly about something, you should speak up and take action. That's the philosophy I live by. My role is to manage real estate and construction in Liyue. Sure, Liyue is a vast place with abundant resources, but without proper planning, and if too much focus is placed on short-term profit, a great many things can go wrong. What do you think has kept Liyue going over the last millennium? Rex Lapis? I disagree. We mortals have to fight for survival whatever happens. He just feels the need to come down here and poke his nose into everything that's going on for some reason.
Oh, Kaching.
People don't like to think about this, but should we really be trusting him to be an expert in everything?
I mean, you're gonna come around to it.
After I took on the management of so many of Liyue's affairs, I had a newfound respect for Rex Lapis and all his hard work over the last millennium. Recently, every time I come up against a difficult problem with no obvious solution, I find myself thinking, what would Rex Lapis do? Maybe he really is an expert in everything,
yeah.
And I've got more left to learn than I realized.
I mean, like you said, he's been doing this shit for a millennia. You just happen to be born into another point in time where he's still in charge. I love the character development here. Like, it's like, I'm skeptical. Who does this guy think he is? Yeah, this guy's actually pretty goated. I respect him a lot. I actually think about what he would do in most it. And, you know what I mean? It's Zhang Li. You know what I mean? He's out here looking out for everybody.
You know why I like you?
Oh.
It's because you don't believe something just because it was said by a god. You make up your own mind. You ask the questions everyone else is too cowardly to ask. And when you don't get an answer, you keep looking till you find one. Oh, don't worry. Your way is definitely the right way. Who says gods don't make mistakes anyway?
I think her and Dainsleif would be really, really good friends. I'm surprised he didn't reach out to her and decided to come for me instead. They both have strong opinions of gods.
It's not difficult, you'll see. Just give it a try. What if you try and it doesn't work out? No, I don't believe that will happen. You've never let me down before. You don't seem the type.
Aw, I try. I love how it says trying. I literally try. I try my best. I try my best not to let people down.
I used to be so naive. I genuinely believed I was on par with Rex Lapis.
You idiot!
Seems I really overestimated myself. Yes. You're right. I have plenty of self-confidence in other areas, so why not in this? I can catch up with him. I will catch up with him. I just need to keep my chin up, keep trying, and keep learning.
Wow, that's so encouraging. I know it's called encouragement, but still, it's great to hear some characters, like, actually feel like real characters. Like, that's some real shit right there. She's gonna catch up to him? Yo, Kaching better be the next Electro Archon, or I'm gonna be sad. There's no other, she's the only other 5-star Electro character. Who else is up for the task, you know? Any truers? Any believers in chat?
If a vision means the approval of the gods, then I don't see why I should want one.
Oh.
In fact, I find it quite insulting. It's like trying to say everything I've ever achieved is all thanks to the gods looking out for me.
Damn.
Well, I got to where I am today through my own hard work.
Fuck you guys.
The gods had nothing to do with it.
I respect that shit so much.
Oh, so Rex Lapis wanted me to have power beyond the average mortal so that I can be a great leader?
Aww.
I like to think I do an admirable job even without his blessing. Yeah, I'll show him. I won't give him any reason to be disappointed with me.
I really like Kaching now. Holy shit. This is crazy.
In addition to my work with the Liyue Qixing, I do a lot of work for the public too. Mostly the feedback is positive, but whenever I propose something like adding an extra hour to the workday, I come up against very strong resistance. I'm too forward-thinking, I suppose. Maybe I should start with a half hour instead. What do you mean, Geo-Archon paraphernalia?
Oh.
You're not suggesting my bedroom is full of that stuff, surely? I'm not a child anymore.
Yeah, she's a fan.
Although, okay, I did buy a couple of Rex Lapis figurines recently, but they're just to keep me on the straight and narrow. Look, just because I own an idol or two does not mean I idolize him, okay?
Yeah, she's a fan. I love that side of her. She's very hardworking, but at the same time, she's like, I'm still a girl. You know, I want to have fun. I want to go shopping. I want to, you know, admire Rex Lapis. Nothing wrong with that.
I once heard a Mondstadt fable about courage being what it takes for birds to learn to fly.
Amber!
But I think you must first possess a yearning for the boundless skies.
Amber's book.
Before you would have any inclination, let alone the courage, to spread your wings and try to fly. For me, Liyue is that boundless sky.
Pog.
The gentleman from the Wangsheng funeral parlor? Clearly he's an extremely learned individual. And I do have a lot of respect for him.
Do they not know?
But his mindset is too traditional for me. He thinks in the same tired old terms as Rex Lapis did.
That's the point.
If he were more of an original thinker, I'm sure he'd be a great asset to me in reaching my objectives.
Aw, man, do none of them actually know that Zhang Li is Rex Lapis? I mean, clearly she doesn't know, but like Ningguang doesn't know, like no one but the Adepti? I mean, obviously they have to pass it off. They have to make them believe that, I mean, he might as well be dead, right? If he's not the Electro Archon, to them at least, because he has no authority in Liyue anymore. But damn, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I guess only of the Adepti know what went down.
That captain is always flouting the rules, and her personality really rubs people the wrong way. That said, the Crux fleet is indispensable to Liyue Harbor. It's a bit of an art, knowing when to enforce the rules and when it's in everyone's interest to be more lenient. Thing is, the Tianquan is supposed to be the one enforcing the rules, but she always seems to be too busy.
Maybe she's got a thing for Beidou. You know, maybe she lets Beidou get away with stuff. You never know.
We do work together, but we couldn't be more opposite personality-wise. To her, Liyue Harbor is nothing more than a marketplace, and she'll do anything as long as it makes money for her. Doesn't she have any principles? Or maybe turning a profit is her principle.
I mean, she came from nothing, apparently, based on, like, what I've heard, especially, like, Zhongli mentioned, and, like, what I've kind of put together. So, I mean, honestly, that's not too far off. Like, if someone who's poor comes into money, you know what I mean, they probably never want to be poor again. So, obviously, money is going to be probably a major driving factor for them. And in her case, maybe she is thinking beneficially for people, for Liyue as well.
Since Rex Lapis left us, we've actually found some common ground. I was quite judgmental of her in the past, and we still fundamentally disagree on a number of issues. But in the current climate, I have to say I count her as a comrade in arms.
I mean, yeah, you guys fought against the Fatui and Osile together.
Having said that, I ordered a Lucent Crescent from Mingxing Jewelry 3 months in advance, and when it was finally time to pick it up, they told me Ningguang had bought up the last few months' worth of Lucent Crescents for herself by paying double the price.
Wow.
She can be such a pain.
Ningguang, why do you need all of those crescents? I could understand if she bought all of them and then gave one to her, but like now you're just flexing.
You know what? I think her music rocks.
Yo!
Too noisy by traditional standards for sure, but I don't care. Good music is good music, and good music should reach the widest possible audience.
Let's go. Kaching's into rock music. You love to see it. Nice. Wow. At least Kaching like Xinyan, you know? Xinyan representation. You love to see it.
Everyone has faith in Dr. Baiju's medical skills. He's the right guy to go to when you can't figure out what's wrong with you. Oh, the rumors you say?
Oh.
The only one that I know for a fact is true is how disgusting his medicine tastes.
Oh, okay.
It's not just the kids who find it bitter. It's left me with some horrible memories, too.
Feel bad for Chi-Chi if she has to take any of those in prep and, like, testing.
Yeah, the up-and-coming chef from Wanmin Restaurant.
Up and coming.
I get that she's gifted and everything. I just think her cooking can be a bit hit or miss.
I guess she never missed,
I was all ready to hire her for a small banquet once and give her full control over the menu. But the amount of lizard and slime in her sample dishes quickly turned me off that idea.
But it tastes good, apparently. Who cares what's in it? You see Diona's drinks? She's got, like, freaking, like, legs and tails and eyeballs in that, but it's still pretty good.
I've heard his story. He was born into a well-to-do family, but wasn't keen on the family business. So he now devotes his time to being an envoy of justice.
Yeah.
I have huge respect for that.
Hell yeah.
Not everyone has the guts to follow their dreams when it means breaking with the long-standing family tradition.
Envoy of justice. I fucking love that for Xingqiu. He's literally out here, like, doing good. Love it, man. Absolutely love it.
I feel like now that we live in the age of mankind's rule, it's time for the legendary boy Adeptus to be released from duty. We no longer need a defender of that kind, because we are capable of working through the challenges we face on our own strength.
Holy shit, she just said, Zhao, you can retire. If only it was that easy, you know?
Who knows what Rex Lapis must have done to inspire such blind devotion from Ganyu.
Uh-oh.
But her reluctance to be critical is not without its advantages. In the workplace, she'll carry out my instructions to the letter, even when I can tell she has her reservations. It's a good attitude to have as a career professional.
I love how she has like a skepticism opinion, and then she's got a reflection on that, like immediate character development.
I find myself getting a second opinion from her a lot these days.
Yeah.
Lots of things come up that I just have no idea about. And of everyone in Liyue, she's probably the most familiar with Rex Lapis. I feel a bit awkward though, because I used to be openly disparaging of Rex Lapis in front of her. But she doesn't seem to mind, so I guess I've got nothing to worry about.
Who's Yunjin? Bro, what the hell? There's another character? Isn't that the other... Wait, who is this?
When you're passing by Huyu Tea House and have to squeeze your way through the biggest crowd you've seen in your life, that's when you know Yunjin's on stage performing.
Another musician?
There's not a merchant in Liyue who wouldn't buy up the place if they had the chance. And Yunjin's the reason it would be worth every mora.
Okay, hold on. So you got Barbara the singer... You got Xinyan, the guitarist. Who's Yunjin? Is that like a Liyue idol? Is this another singer? Like, is it like the Liyue's version of Barbara? Oh my god. What music? What? This is actually kind of cool. Not gonna lie. I would laugh my ass off if Laura Stahl voices this character as well, because she voices Barbara and she voices Xinyan, which are both like musical characters. So if this is another voice by if this character's voice, if those three musical characters are voiced by the same voice actress, that's gonna be pretty cool to just see the range of those 3 characters.
Since Rex Lapis left us, the question of Liyue's future has been on my mind constantly. In addition to reviewing his own past deeds, I've been researching the other Archon's modes of governance too.
Venti doesn't have governance.
God is the one who baffles me the most, though. How exactly do any of his actions contribute to the longevity of Mondstadt? It's completely beyond me.
It's all Jean and Varka, you know? It's literally the Knights of Favonius that are doing all the heavy lifting. I mean, Venti put in work. You know, he liberated these people twice, and he helped us save Dvalin. So, like, Venti comes through when he absolutely needs to, I think. I feel like there's, I don't know. It's the Wild West out here, you know? They do things differently.
The way I see it, the law is a summary of things done the right way in the past.
Did they get They got Sucrose's voice actor to voice this part about Yanfei? Hello? Sucrose.
The way I see it, the law is a summary of things done the right way in the past. However, it should also be continuously adapted and improved to match the needs of the present. Given that Liyue is about to undergo a radical transformation, legal talent is in great demand. With an assistant like Yanfei, I could spare myself a great deal of trouble.
You thought this was gonna fly, huh, miHoYo? You thought that people weren't gonna pay attention to character voiceovers, and look where we are. Sucrose impersonating Kaching, talking about Yanfei. Who would have thought? That was really weird, not gonna lie. I literally just heard Sucrose talking about Yanfei. That's weird. I guess Kaching knows Yanfei. I couldn't even process Kaching saying that, because all I heard was Sucrose, I'm sorry.
You want to know more about me? Sure. Let's start with the principles that are central to the role of Yuheng.
So weird.
Once you've memorized the 100 or more contractual obligations of the position, you'll know my hopes and dreams like the back of your hand.
Oh boy, you putting in work.
Nothing exists independently, and there's nothing you can do to change that. So, when you drag your heels on one thing, you're actually causing chaos for a whole bunch of other connected issues too. That's why I firmly believe you should never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. I'm also a very impatient person and can't stand procrastinating, so that's also part of it.
No bullshit, Kaching kind of makes me want to be a better person. Like, I'm guilty of procrastinating, I'm guilty of putting shit off, I'm guilty of a lot of that stuff, but like, damn, she was like that hit me. I was like, I know the feeling, like, I was like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, on top of all of the other things I already have to do tomorrow, and then by the time you know it, you got a big-ass laundry list. Yeah, damn, man, why can't I be more like Kaching?
Never mince your words with me, okay? Yuheng's just a title. I'll not have you treading on eggshells around me just because of my status.
Hey.
Say what's on your mind, always. That's what makes you unique, and it's the thing I admire about you the most.
Aww.
We've been on our fair share of adventures together, haven't we? The more time we spend together, the more I think that you're the person of my dreams and...
Whoa!
Huh?
Wait,
why so shocked?
Wait, what?
You're a crucial part of my dreams for the new Liyue.
I was like, wait, what? Is she confessing to the Traveler? The person of my dreams? Okay, that has a completely different meaning than the dreams of a new Liyue. Woo! I was like, damn, I'm not ready to make that decision yet. But no, in actuality, I was like, wait a minute, Kaching of all people are gonna... And I love how she says, why so shocked? Get it? Electro? Ha ha ha. Funny joke there.
The time has come for humanity to make its mark in the land of the Geo-Archon. Turns out that was quite an ambitious statement after all. But I want you to make me a promise. Come and visit when the new Liyue Harbor is born. I will show you around. After all the help and support you've given me along the way, you deserve to see Liyue reborn with your own eyes. I owe you that much.
I really like Kaching. Wow, this is gonna be so fucking hard to pick like a favorite character. Like, I use Kaching pretty extensively to know that, I mean, she's got a pretty... I just don't really like sword fighters all that much. Like, I think they're incredibly like that. I don't feel like they're that strong or anything. And unfortunately, I feel like the only thing Kaching really has going for her is her like charge attack spam, like the 3-hit, like the stab, and then like the flourish attack. That's like how I see everybody using her. So it's kind of, I don't know. Like, I feel like it just simplifies her. She's got like a super cool like elemental like skill and burst, but I like her personality more than how she actually plays. I think this is what's making me become more of a Kaching fan than what I played as Kaching. You know, getting her all the way up to Friendship 8.
That indulgent
or
feeling
6.
of being spoilt for choice between countless different varieties. That to me is the appeal of shopping.
The indulgent feeling of being spoilent for choice between countless varieties. Yeah, it's basically like a kid in a candy shop.
It's great that the quality of life in Liyue is improving for everyone. But one downside is the growing number of people who are happy to reap the rewards without doing their fair share of the work. The Liyue Qixing did not put in all this effort to create a more prosperous society just so people like them can loaf around.
She doesn't like lazy people either, so...
It makes no logical sense to be greedy with food. But for me, all rationality goes out the window when there's golden shrimp balls involved. They're just irresistible. The taste of a single golden shrimp ball brings me so much joy that all the stress of work just melts away.
Aw, I wonder if that's her... Is that her signature dish? I don't remember her signature dish right now.
Everything has a certain way it should taste. I won't touch anything that tries to break the mold, so no salted almond tofu for me.
Oh.
And no sweetened lotus seed and bird egg soup either. It's just a total waste of perfectly good ingredients.
Damn. No salted almond tofu? I don't know if Zhao takes salted almond tofu or if it's just regular, but I don't know if he would like that.
When your heart is set on something, you get closer to your goal with each passing day. Great. Having another trick up my sleeve gives me more flexibility in rapidly changing circumstances.
And lastly... Yesterday's
experiences make me stronger today. And most of those experiences are ones that I share with you.
Stop it. Oh man, I love how dynamic she is. She's a character that I feel has truly grown. She's not like static. Like she's the same when we met her as she is now. I love how she had like initial opinions that when presented with new information and exposure and experience, she evolved and she changed her outlook on things. That's something like a lot of people feel like is I think it's so weird that some people feel like other people are not allowed to change their opinions or change their viewpoints or their thoughts on certain things. Like whatever you present as like your belief or your opinion cannot change, because if it changes then you're just, you know, flip-flopper. I never understood that. It's super weird. And like I noticed a lot that like some people kind of like are reserved when it comes to changing their mind on certain things because they feel like they'll be judged or you know, I guess just judged, or they feel like people will have this negative impression on them that like they said this thing and now it's this thing. But I like how Kaching is just like, yeah, she's the prime example of like, it's okay to change your mind on certain things. Like you don't have to feel like you're right all the time. It's okay to be wrong. So Kaching is anti-Twitter. Yeah, pretty much that moral of the story, Kaching is anti-Twitter. There you go. But yeah, I really liked her. I liked this a lot. I just wish that MiHoYo gave her a little bit more of the spotlight, and maybe that's something that they can do in the future. I don't know now because we're going to Inazuma, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. Alrighty, that was great.